Hello everyone! Welcome back to Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations! We're heading back to court today because now we're trying to save Ron from being accused of murder. And honestly, I really don't know who did it. I don't know. It could actually be Atmey because he was in the office as we saw his sprite. And my other big theory is there's a third mask to mask. And yeah, that's about all I've got. I really don't know what else is going on here. This trial's in 2 parts though, so I doubt we're gonna find any answers today. I mean, maybe we'll get a better idea, but that'll be about it. So let's head back to trial and see more of Gatto and his coffee being slid into him. Also, I have a slight cold, so if my voice and the voices I'm doing sound a bit off, that's why. Dude, I don't know what it is about this year. For the past several years, I really didn't get sick, but for whatever reason this year, since November, I just keep catching something, and I am sick of it. Anyways.
Hey, Nick!
What is it this time?
You don't believe how many people are here for the trial?
Well, it is a murder case.
What are you talking about? They're here for the trial next door.
Oh? What's next door? Next door?
Why don't you know this, Nick? They're having Detective Atmey's trial today.
Oh. I guess he... Huh. He has to have a trial? Even though Is that what happens every time? I find someone else guilty, they go have their own trial? Detective Atmey?
They say they're going to try him as mask to mask.
Already? That was fast. And who's the judge over there?
Well, I'd love to see mask to mask's trial.
I know. Hello? By the way, where's Pearls?
I'll show her back home. She said she can't neglect her training anymore.
Oh, Ron? I know you don't like me. Pearls has really gotten into her training lately, huh?
Yeah, ever since Dennis did it last year.
Please, don't ignore me. I'm sorry, Ron.
Oh, Mr. Delight, good morning.
No one likes me. No one would notice me, even if I killed someone.
Come on, don't be silly. Wait a sec.
You don't mean you're the murderer? No. I'm just a poor thief that no one likes. No, wait, that's not right. A thief can't really be poor. Now, let's see. According to Mr. Delight, from his second crime on, he was following a bunch of set plans. Plans that someone had been sending to him to help him commit the heists.
Do you really think there's a connection between the thief and the murderer, Nick?
It's possible, but today's trial is a race against the clock.
Huh? How come? Let's just take our time like always.
I'm afraid that's not an option. Why? Why is it not an option? Clue me in. Hi, Gatto.
Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Ron Delight.
Ugh, the judge's voice is really hard to do with a cold. The defense is ready, Your Honor. You're ready. Preparation is the last refuge of the weak.
That's my motto in Mahjong. Okay, settle down, everyone. Let's begin with your opening statement. Mr. Gatto.
Oh, he's got the judge in the palm of his hand. Yet again. Like everyone always does. He claims to love me, but always sides with the prosecution. Ron Delight is simply too young to be sent to war. That's all.
I'm afraid I have no idea what that means, Mr. Gatto.
Then you need to get out more, Your Honor.
I go out plenty, and you know I would go out more if I ever got out of these trials on time. But no, the witnesses always say the wrong things, and I'm late.
Life is war, but that is exactly why you must be more precise in your wording. Ah, the first cup of coffee. That's all my statement means. You understand now, right?
Yes. Well then, let me briefly summarize the details of this case.
Wow, the judge is taking charge like he knows what's going on for a change.
I literally admitted a few videos ago that I don't. The victim is King Bullard, CEO of KB Security. His body was found in a safe at approximately 9 a.m. on the morning of the 13th. However, the time of death was estimated as 1 a.m. of the previous day.
And that's when our little lost kitten dropped the ball. That little lost kitten is, of course, the defendant.
Very well then, Mr. Gatto. Please call your first witness.
I have to drink my coffee first. And my sexy music theme has to come in. Oh yeah. I never drink more than 17 cups of coffee during any given trial. Okay. Let me to keep track of that. How many times they slide in. Could never be more than 17. But the first one is always the best.
Mr. Gatto, your witness. I feel like you're trying to seduce me and I don't like it.
Okay then. Let's hear what the defendant, Mr. Ron Delight, has to say for himself.
The defendant? Well, Mr. Wright, does the defense have any objections? It may be a bit of a disadvantage having the defendant testify, but...
I remember when Mia was defending me. She allowed me to testify so she could do the cross-examination. She put a lot of trust in me back then. We have no objections, Your Honor. The defense will allow Mr. Delight to testify. Ha. You've got guts, Trite. Stop calling me Trite.
All right then, Mr. Ron Delight. Please take the stand.
You did it, didn't you? Yes. What? What? No. That's not true.
For a moment there, I thought we'd set the record for the shortest trial ever. That would have been very wacky.
Well, Mr. Delight already looks plenty guilty with that mask he's making.
Or that face he's making. How's he making a mask? Where did I literally even see the word mask? And once he opens his big mouth, he'll probably put the last nail in his own coffin. Huh. Very well. Now then, can you tell me something? If you didn't kill Bullard, why did you go to KB Security? Well, it's kind of hard to say. Boy, I wish I could go home.
Now then, let's hear the testimony about what happened.
My visit to KB Security. That evening, around 1 a.m., I went to see Mr. Bullard in his office at KB Security. The blackmail letter I got, it ordered me to go there. I've been working for KB Security until a year ago, so I knew where his office was. Oh, that's it? That's a short testimony.
1 a.m., the exact time the murder took place.
Here's cup number 2. The weak get washed away by the tides of fate. The strong drink it up. Ha, it's bitter today, too. Just like my destiny.
You never know from that way. He's chugging it down.
Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, if you please.
Can we talk more about the blackmail letter, maybe? It's the only thing that seems like we can press on. It ordered you there? It was the first time I'd gotten a blackmail letter that ordered me to go somewhere.
That means you've gotten other blackmail letters then. My God, I'm so sorry, sir. That's terrible.
Oh, of course. They'd always say things like, steal this, and I take that. Why don't you save those for later, Mr. Delight? Please don't say any more. Now, what should I do? It's gonna be hard to get you the not guilty without also accidentally proving that you are mask to mask. Okay, let's press harder. So, what did the blackmail letter in question say? It said to bring $50,000. Money, eh? A perfect motive for committing murder. Oh, but wait! I never intended to pay that money anyway.
Oh, is that right? Did you intend to kill him instead?
After all, he had nothing to hold over my head. I had nothing to be afraid of.
An important point indeed. Witness, let's have that added to your testimony.
Yes, sir. Ha. A muddy mud skipper is in outer space has a better chance of surviving than I do. Okay, the blackmail threat didn't scare me. It wasn't going to cause me trouble or anything. Okay. Working. Oh. Should we talk about until a year ago? Because you're fired. You used to be a security chief for KB Security, right? Yes, that's right.
A security chief? You? That's pathetic.
And yet, a year ago, you were fired without notice. Revenge for an old grudge. Perfect motive for murder, wouldn't you say? This isn't good. Maybe I should change the subject. Let's talk about why he was fired. Did we ever really establish that? Mr. Delights, please tell us why you were fired from your job. Well, the world is filled with those who have said, I wish I had never asked that. Okay, then I take it back.
Defendant, please answer the question. It's too late, Phoenix Wright. You've piqued my curiosity, and you know what happens when my curiosity is piqued.
I needed money.
You needed money? Are you poor?
Well, you see, Desi loves to spend it. It's kind of her hobby.
Not exactly the best hobby in the world, huh, Nick?
Is Desi here? Is she watching this? Is she finding out you're fired right now? My salary wasn't nearly enough, so I stole data from the company. Oh. Okay. Come again. KB Security has a lot of security info in all sorts of companies. And since I was a security team chief... You stole some data and sold it. Mr. Bullard found out, and I was fired immediately. What? I wish I had never asked that. It's just like Otto said. I was somehow able to keep it secret and made it seem like I had quit on my own.
What is it, Nick? You don't look so good.
Someone who brings harm to their company is fired as punishment. You'd also do well to remember that.
He sure told you.
So you admit that you stole data from your company, is that correct?
Yes, I'm sorry.
It's a very important fact. Please add it to your testimony.
Oh man, this whole thing just took a big turn for the worse. Crashed and blew up. It's gonna take the jaws of life to rip this case from the clutches of disaster. Oh, Ron. You pathetic little man. You fired me for selling the company's secrets, but Desi doesn't know about that. Okay. Again, is Desi here? She might know about it now. Oh, jeez. Okay, welcome to the jump forward in time where I've spent a significant amount of time trying to figure out what the correct answer was, and I failed miserably. Apparently, I need to present Desiree Delight on this statement, and I have no idea why. I don't know. It explains why I couldn't figure it out. I just sat here for like 5 minutes not knowing what to do. I was never gonna get this, and I still don't understand what the logic is. It wasn't gonna cause me trouble or anything. Like, what do you mean? Why is this the answer? Mr. Delight, what you said just now doesn't match what you told me yesterday. Huh? What doesn't... I think you must have been scared. Very scared. Of having a certain person find out your secret. I mean, I guess. When you're talking about, like, it wasn't gonna cause me trouble, that's not really what I was thinking. I don't know, maybe that was common sense. Gulp.
A certain person. Also, did you just say gulp instead of gulping?
Ms. Desiree Delight, the defendant's wife. Listen to me. My Desi, she's... Looks like if I just sit back and relax, the fun will end before it truly begins. Yeah, but listen, Gato, you've never really faced me before. I always win. Except that last case, the last game. I didn't win then, but that's what I wanted to happen. Ugh, Gato. Yes, we know. It was all your wife's fault.
What do you mean?
Mr. Delight stole company data to pay for his wife's spending habit, for which he was fired. Unable to face his own wife, someone used his dirty little secret to blackmail him. And that is how this murder came about.
Oh.
No, everything is falling neatly into place for him. Just don't talk about my Desi like that, or you'll be sorry. Okay, don't threaten, Ron. That's not gonna help your case.
Well, it seems that we've learned a great deal of things here so far.
What do you think, Nick?
I didn't think it was possible to get so thoroughly whipped in just 20 minutes.
Clearly, there was sufficient motive for murder. He stole data from his wife, and he killed to protect his secret. A family man who cared just a little too much. Haven't we all been there?
The motive is clear. Let's move on. What happened at the crime scene at 1 in the morning, Mr. Delight? Come now, tell us. We're all ears. At the CEO's office. When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there, which was Atmey. It's so obvious. Suddenly, I was hit on the forehead. After that, I remember being a bit dazed. If I hadn't been wearing that, I would have been killed.
Wearing what?
When I came to, Mr. Bullard was lying there, dead.
I see. Suddenly hit on the forehead, huh? Haven't we all been there? I believe the detective from yesterday provided a similar testimony. He said that Master Mask struck him on the head from behind.
Well, that's what I do want to know is, like, obviously, okay, there's this, but then there's still stuff going on at the actual, like, theft scene. And if Atmey was at, you know, this crime where the murder was, what was the deal with, like, the sword that I can't pronounce that was on the statue being bent? Of course, since Atmey turned out to be the culprit himself, that was all a lie. Ha. No one's going to believe a pathetic lie like that. What are you saying? I really was attacked. It's okay, Ron, I'll defend you.
We'll find out if what you say is true or not during the cross-examination.
Got that, Mr. Wright? Don't go easy just because he's your client. Got my 3rd cup of coffee. If I see any sign that you are, I'll treat you to another cup of my special blend. You don't need to worry about that, Mr. Gatto. I have faith in Ron. I know he didn't do it. At the CEO's office. When Gatto says those things, like, I know he's trying to be intimidating, but it just comes off like he's flirting with me. When I entered the office... Okay, no. I know what I'm looking for. If I hadn't been wearing that, I would have been killed. Wearing what? That... Could you please clarify what you are referring to? Why, my Master Mask costume, of course.
Wait just a moment. Master Mask?
He's a big fan. Oh, did I forget to mention it before? Just to be on the safe side, I dressed as Master Mask. And then I descended upon the office of the CEO of KB Security.
What? This is so wacky.
Nick, did you know about this? You never told me this.
Nope. I don't recall him ever mentioning it to me either. Even I didn't know that. So Atmey... I don't know, no wait, I guess... Was he really lying then? Because he technically, I guess, would have faced off with Master Mask, but he knocked him out. He did not get knocked out by Master Mask. Dang, even Gatto didn't know that. It seems our little friend really loves to keep secrets. I'm sorry, I just never had a chance to mention it up until now. Wait, that's not right. You know how sometimes things just slip your mind? Ha, my 6th cup of coffee is staring up at me coldly. That's your 6th? You only had 2 slid into you. Just been doing it off screen when I haven't been looking.
At any rate, we can't ignore this new piece of information. Witness, please correct your testimony.
I'd have been killed if I hadn't been wearing my Master Mask costume. Okay. What's so special about the costume, then? What makes it so indestructible? Why were you dressed up as Master Mask? Why, because I'm Master Mask, of course. Stop saying that.
What are you talking about? Master Mask's trial is being held next door. I was not invited. I had to have my cousin, Judge 2, do it.
Judge 2? Yeah, I guess so. Anyway, at that time, I thought I was being blackmailed over the Master Mask issue. So, I thought I should go as him, just to be safe. Oh boy. Let me tell you, it's a real pain to move around with that cape. That's why it took a lot longer than I'd expected. Took longer? Took a lot longer. the same response there, Phoenix. What is he talking about? Yeah, let's press harder on that. What do you mean by took a lot longer? Oh, opening the safe, of course. My cape got caught on the safe door, you see? Cape got caught on the safe door. Okay. This all happened when I was hiding Mr. Bullard's body. I didn't see your cape in there at all.
What was that? Back up a second.
Oh, yeah, we did hide the body, and we haven't talked about that.
Yes? You're the one that hid the body in the safe.
Well, yeah.
Inconceivable. This is wacky even for me in my court. Why? Just why? What reason could you have? What were you thinking?
Question. When does someone toss their dirty shorts in the washing machine?
This freaking music! What?
The answer is simple. When they take them off.
As usual, I have no idea what you are saying.
Do you mean that Mr. Delight hid the body because he's the murderer? Huh. So you're not as stupid as you look. I look stupid? Look at you! You're wearing goggles.
His metaphor this time was really obscure.
Mr. Wright, you don't mean that you knew about this whole safe business, do you?
There's an explanation. Well, yes.
Why am I the only one not in the loop here? I feel very excluded. I don't like it. My feelings are hurt. Witness, make sure you add this to the testimony.
Yes, sir. Uh-oh. Looks like a storm front is moving in over the fair-weather judge. I panicked and hid the body in the safe. It took about 10 minutes. Okay. About 10 minutes? Is that important? Is there anything we have that's like, something took 10 minutes? This is all from the other crime scene. It would have to be down this way more. Death at 1 a.m. Took about 10 minutes. Connected to the basement security office. There are no fingerprints on it. What about this? No one showed up. Buzzer. Oh, buzzer record. The buzzer went off once at 1:02 on October 12th in the CEO's office. It took about 10 minutes, but this went off at 1:02. What if I feel like it's this. There's something here. I can't quite place my finger on what it is, but it just feels right. Your Honor, could you please take a look at this record?
And what might this be?
The record for the emergency buzzer that connects the CEO's office to security. If the button in the office is pressed, a security team is supposed to come running, but they didn't. I mean, Larry wasn't there. I don't know. And according to this record, the buzzer was pushed once at 1:02 a.m.
What?
If Mr. Ron Delight truly was the murderer, he would have ran as soon as the buzzer sounded. After all, a security guard would have been heading his way if Larry knew how to do his job. Objection! I forgot about your deep objection. Let's remember who we're dealing with here. He probably had no idea there were security personnel in the building. He worked there. He would know. Up until 1 year ago, my client was working as a chief of security. There's no way he wouldn't have known about them. But, as it turns out, the guard never came. That was nothing more than a coincidence. The fact that the guard was a pathetic loser, who had just gotten punched in the face by his ex's new boyfriend, and wasn't anywhere in the vicinity, was not something Mr. Delight could have known. Again, remember who we're dealing with here. It's a sure bet that Mr. Delight didn't even notice the buzzer going off. It made a noise. We tested it. It made a noise. This buzzer is extremely loud. There is no way he could have ignored something like that. If he had been conscious, that is. Yeah, so it's like he was I couldn't quite wrap my mind around like what was going on there. I just knew there was something off about it. He would have heard it if he was conscious, but he wasn't. So then he woke up and spent like 10 minutes putting the body in.
Conscious? What do you mean by that?
Give me my coffee. Fine. Let's hear your theory. Recall the defendant's testimony. The moment he entered the victim's office, someone attacked him. Mr. Delight said he felt dazed. I'm willing to wager that he was knocked unconscious for at least a few minutes.
Unconscious? So he fainted.
That's why Mr. Delight didn't know that the buzzer had sounded. And that's why he thought he had time to hide the body. So what are you trying to say? Mr. Delight was knocked out, and the buzzer went off soon afterwards. Now, unless my client was able to hit the buzzer while he was unconscious, it can only mean that there was another person in that room. That's right, whoever it was, they knocked out Ron Delight and then pressed the buzzer. They probably wanted him to be caught. And the person had to have been Atmey, who was very conveniently next door.
Order in the court. Mr. Wright, this is...
Objection!
This is preposterous. It was this kid. Ron Delight is the one who killed King Bullard. Then who pressed the buzzer? It was the victim, of course. He pressed the buzzer when the defendant attacked him. He didn't die right away. Must have held on long enough to push that button. But again, Ron would have still had to been unconscious, because otherwise he wouldn't have hung around.
So King Bullard sounded the buzzer himself. What is your opinion on this, Mr. Wright?
I need to prove that the real criminal was there at the scene, but how? Can I prove that it wasn't King Bullard who sounded the buzzer? I think I probably can. Yeah, no, it wasn't because he died at 1 a.m. and the buzzer was pressed at 1:02. The defense's opinion is this, Your Honor. This piece of evidence proves that it wasn't the victim who sounded the buzzer, which is the buzzer again. Oh, there's no fingerprints on it, which is interesting. That's not what I was thinking. I was thinking that he died. He'd already been dead when it was pushed, but there's no fingerprints on it. So, either someone was wearing gloves, which I don't think he was, or they wiped it. And Atmey is like, I always wear gloves, wasn't he? It's this. I believe this is the piece of it's okay, give me your time. Stupid trite. I'm sorry. Incontrovertible evidence you were looking for. Wow, that was pretty pathetic. Shut up, Gordo.
I still love you anyway, Mr. Wright. You tried your best. The emergency buzzer. Is there some kind of clue on it?
No, it's the fact that there's nothing. Absolutely not. Give me my coffee. Hey, come on now. At least give some thought to what you say before opening your mouth. The fact that there are absolutely no clues is itself the clue.
Now, I'm the one who's clueless, but then again, I always am.
This button has no fingerprints on it. If Mr. Bullard had really pressed it himself, naturally he would have left fingerprints behind. Ugh. Yeah, we're expecting that. Where you got out? Ron Delight obviously wiped them off. Why would he? A guard could have come in at any moment. He touched that button. I know he did. The defendant, Mr. Delight, was dressed as Master Mask. And Master Mask always wears gloves. What reason could he possibly have had to wipe the button free of fingerprints?
Order, order, order.
Huh. It would seem. I've been forced to eat crow.
I wonder what blend up crow flavored coffee is.
7. Ow.
However, if the real killer was there at the scene, why would that person press the emergency buzzer?
So that the security would find Ron.
Shouldn't they have run away without putting themselves in extra danger? What's with this awkward silence all of a sudden?
Huh. It looks like you're fresh out of parlor tricks. No, I have the answer, Phoenix. It's very simple.
They're on you, Nick.
Just give me a minute to collect my thoughts. The real culprit killed Mr. Bullard at around 1 a.m. And Mr. Delight just happened to waltz in when the murder was taking place, right? Also, totally read that line wrong. That was Maya that said that. Not Phoenix. Whatever. The killer clobbered Mr. Delight and then sounded the buzzer.
Even though security was supposed to respond right away if the buzzer was pressed.
There we go. I read your correct line that time, Maya. Security was supposed to respond.
Time's up, Mr. Wright. Let's hear what you have to say.
Very well then. Oh, you've got some guts. I like that in an opponent.
Why did the real killer sound the emergency buzzer?
To call the security guard. Because he wanted Ron to be found guilty. But why would Luke Atmey kill King Bullard? The killer knew that if they pressed that button, a guard would come running. And that was exactly what they wanted.
Do you mean to say the killer called the guard on purpose?
Yes. Although, as it turned out, he never showed up.
Because he was getting his clock cleaned at the time.
Yeah. Huh. What a touching story. You're saying the killer had a change of heart and called the guard to turn himself in? No, idiot. Called to have Ron turned in. No, I'm not. When that buzzer sounded, there were 3 people in that office. The victim, King Bullard, who was already dead. The defendant, Ron Delight, who was out cold. And the third person, the real killer. They really are not trying to hide who the real killer is. There's this very obvious sprite.
Hypothetically, yes.
Now then, in this situation, if the real killer made an escape, what would happen? The only ones left in the room would be the victim and Ron Delight. And if any security guards came running in at the time, they would think that I was the murderer. Yes, that was precisely the real killer's objective. To frame Ron Delight for the murder. What is it now, Gatto? Oh, hold on, I need to do a spit take.
Order, order, order.
It would seem. I've been made to eat my words once again. Or am I playing into your hand again like last time? That's the question.
Actually, you've been made to do a spit take with a cup of coffee.
Mr. Wright, who was it? Who was it that tried to frame me? Or, wait. Wait a second. I'm the one and only Master Mask, so...
Nick, you mean the real killer is...
We're going to drag that person in here right now because he's very conveniently next door.
But, who is it?
I don't have any solid proof yet, but think about it. There's only one person with that sprite. The killer knew Mr. Delight's identity, and they also knew that he had been called to KB security that night. So the killer used him to execute a well-crafted plan to murder King Bullard.
Now then, let's hear your accusation, Mr. Wright. Who was it that framed Mr. Ron Delight for the murder of King Bullard?
It was... Luke Atmey. Again! Detective Luke Atmey. Again. It's still him. He's the only one who could have done it. Ace Detective. Luke Atmey.
You mean Master Mask did it?
Your Honor, the person being tried in the court next to us is not Master Mask at all. He is, in actuality, the true murderer of King Bullard. Then there has to be a third Master Mask.
Order, order. Mr. Wright, explain yourself.
Theft and murder, which is the more serious crime. Also, so if Atmey was the one, telling or giving all the plans to Ron. In theory, he could have given plans to a third Master Mask to steal an urn, in a way to give himself an alibi and to keep the crimes going, you know? Because he would have had the alibi to be like, oh, I was there, you know, trying to catch Master Mask.
They're not even close. Murder is the more serious crime, of course. It's a capital crime subject to a capital punishment.
Please remember the trial from yesterday, if you would. When Luke Atmey confessed, there was a huge commotion in the courtroom. Of course, a famous detective was unmasked as, well, Master Mask. Instead of being convicted of murder, he was found guilty of grand larceny. That was his true objective all along. Oh, I see.
To be found guilty.
Master Mask had the perfect alibi for when the murder took place.
That's exactly what Ron's thought was.
He was stealing the urn at Lordly Taylor. In other words, being found guilty as Master Mask was Luke Atmey's airtight, watertight, and unassailable alibi.
A guilty verdict as an alibi.
You know, it's almost time.
For what?
For Luke Atmey's verdict. It was a pretty simple trial, after all. If we're going to stop this trial and stall that one, we need to do it now. Of course. That's assuming you have proof that the detective was the one who committed the murder. Can he not be found guilty on multiple charges? Or is like this another weird rule of this universe? Like, you can only be found guilty of one.
Mr. Luke Atmey's trial has indeed attracted the attention of the entire country. If we were to intrude and fail to provide adequate proof of his true crime, Mr. Delight would be left with no grounds for appeal.
Am I really sure about this? Huh. I bet it's only good when your life's the ante. The ante? Whatever. No, you can't get words right. Got it. Shut up, Wright. Mr. Wright, I believe in you. Mr. Delight. So please, I'm begging you. Thanks, but my decision will determine the rest of your life. Can I really risk your life like this? Hi, Mia. Phoenix. What was that? Don't stray, Phoenix. For your client, take the path of trust. Thanks, Mia. That voice. It sounds like Mia. I love how she's got like nothing better to do in the afterlife but like hang around and give me advice on random trials. Your Honor, the defense requests an immediate recess. Huh. So that's your answer, huh?
I could use a slide break. Very well, I've decided as well. This court would now take a 20-minute recess. Mr. Wright, when we return, please summon Mr. Luke Atmey to the stand.
Yes, Your Honor. What's Payne doing here? Oh, he's at the trial next door, isn't he?
Hee. Well, Sir Detective Atmey.
I barely remember your voice. I have to say, Mr. Payne, you performed splendidly.
Oh no, Sir Detective Atmey. You were the one who...
I'm about to ruin your life. Oh my god. Oh my god, who are you? Oh my god. Oh my god, there's another judge.
My cousin, Judge 2, I told you. He talks exactly like me. That's enough. This court sees no reason to further prolong this trial. This court finds the defendant Luke Atmey.
Hold it. It's me, Phoenix Wright. Wait. Don't hand down your verdict yet, please. Well, Sir Lawyer. Welcome to my courtroom.
Who's the hoser, eh?
Look at his eyes. They're gigantic. My name is Phoenix Wright, attorney at law. I'm from Judge's Wacky Court.
Ah, my cousin.
And I wish to file an accusation against this man, Luke Atmey.
Accusation? You mean Master Mask?
That man is not Master Mask. He's just a ruthless murderer.
What?
Dude, his eyes are huge. Sweating now, aren't you, Atmey? To be continued. Man, Atmey sucks. Time to save. Okay, so it seems pretty obvious that Atmey is the killer. However, that still means that there's a third master mask, doesn't there? Like someone else had to be stealing the urn. That was probably still part of Luke's alibi, maybe? I don't know. There had to be a third master mask though. That's something we still need to figure out. So I'm assuming that's gonna come up next time. And yeah, also next time we'll be finishing up this case. The master mask arc will be coming to a close. It's definitely been an interesting case so far though, like very different than normal. So I'm excited to see how this is gonna wrap up. But for right now, I'm gonna go ahead and go. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!